Hi, Mark here from Whisky Watch, and this week on a Whisky Wednesday, I thought I'd let you in on a little secret. I've been having this for quite a lot over the last few months. Boona, that's how you pronounce it, Boona, 12 years old. It's from the island of Islay, which is actually renowned for its smoky or peaty whiskies. Well, this one isn't really, and that's why I quite like it. Very much a sherried influence going on with this little number. Islay and, well, Boona anyway, is a famous distillery. It goes back to about 1881. It's on the rugged coast of Ireland. It looks across at the Isle of Jura, and you can see across the Sound of Jura, where obviously they distill Jura whiskey. So talk about that some other day. But so they actually even built themselves a village for all the workers. It's closed now and derelict, but it's still there right next door to the distillery. And they even had a school, I think, at one point. So Boona whiskey, it's a lovely whiskey. It's 46.3% in strength, so not the normal 40%. They actually changed in 2010 and they increased from 40%. So it's just that little bit stronger, if you like, alcohol by volume. And that for me makes a big difference. I think that's a really optimum strength to get the best flavour from a whiskey, I think anyway. So interestingly, Boona has got its own pier. And what happened was when that distillery first opened, everything was shipped out by boats and the steamboats. And that went all the way in through until 1993 when that last boat left. And back in 1960, they built a road it leads down the hill to the distillery, but that's now the main way in and out for everything that distillery makes. But they've recently spent a lot of money, about 10 million, I think. They've invested in new stills and they've upgraded the distillery. It's quite striking from the outside. It looks a bit like the entrance to Colditz or a prison with these massive entrance pillars and big gates to the distillery. But they've just spent in what looks like a fabulous new visitor centre. Now, I've not been yet, so I would really like to go back to Islay and have a look at that. Now, they make a big play that this is non-chill filtered. If you don't really know what non-chill filtered is, the simplest way to explain it is if you added ice to that whiskey, it would go cloudy in your glass. Now, a lot of the distilleries and a lot of the markets think that people will complain if you get a whiskey that looks cloudy to you because you've added a flash of cold water or a block of ice. You'll take it back and ask for your money back. Complete nonsense if you're a whiskey drinker, you know that. But in chill filtering the whiskey, you're removing some of the flavour and the content. So it's a big no-no really for people who like the whiskies. Now, I was going to open this and give you my impression of the taste and the flavour, but I drink it every week, so I could probably describe it. And the real reason is, this is brand new, and if I can get a reasonable amount, let's say 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 likes or followers, I'm going to give this away as a prize. It's a really good value whiskey, as a matter of fact. It varies between 30 odd and 40 odd pounds. So for Boona to sell a 46.3% 12-year-old whiskey this day and age, at the back end of 2019, then it's really, really good value for money. It's a very sherried influence, I think. So you'll get that sweet taste, and certainly on the nose you will. Now they say there's a salty edge to the taste and to the nose of this whiskey. Could be because the warehouses are right on the side of the island, so the waves bash up against it, and little bits of spray enters the warehouse, enters the casks. I'm not convinced of that saltiness myself, but it's quite possible. And without trying it now, I would spoil it, I suppose. But there's a nutty, a fresh, fruity flavour to me, and I think that's the sherry influence. Cereal, nutty sort of flavour. So form your own view, but get out there and pick it up is what I would say. They've won a couple of awards in 2019, have the distillery, so they're doing very well for themselves. It's owned by Distell. So for those of you that are old enough, it's not Sasha Distell, it's Distell, the distillery. So Mouth of the River stands for Boona. Now what it does have, which I do have, it's got a sister. And there's no age statement to this particular whiskey. It's called Stúradór, and it stands for helmsman. And if you look on the label, there's the helmsman at the wheel. So that harks back to the boat days when they used to pull up at that pier, take all the whiskey away and sell it. I don't know whether they bottled it on site forever, but certainly. So the Stewardua has won some of these awards along with its big sister. The 12-year-old, that's a very nice whiskey actually. It's a lot similar sort of colour to it and taste and flavour, and it's definitely a very familiar nose to the 12-year-old. So I won't bore you with, if you're a whiskey fancier, I won't bore you with the way I taste it and smell it. It's up to you. You know, there's no such thing as a bad whiskey. Some are better than others. So, there we are, Boona Stewardua, and I'm sorry, get the label right. Boona Stewardua, and its bigger sister, the 12-year-old Boona. So there we are. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Don't forget, I will definitely give the 12-year-old away as a prize if you pass the word on. If you like this, add some comments below. If you've got any questions, anything like that, then I'll do my best to come back to you. All the very best to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.